So, yes, first of all, this title is an absolute clickbait. But, guys, listen. It is going to make sense. Soon I'll elaborate what's going on. And as you already know from the title, I want to talk about quitting games. So, what do we do when we quit games? And for those who think this is like going on, like quitting Genshin and playing Wuthering Waves, no, not really. I just want to help people decide, do they actually want to stay in the game or they want to leave? If you have seen my previous video, my first video actually, because I've decided to become a shit poster. Well, hello there. um, anyway, so where was I? I want to talk about why people would want to quit games or why it's actually beneficial for people to follow what they want instead of following those people who wants to keep people in Genshin, and it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out with those people, so that's why I want you to decide for yourself. I had that problem too. I would say I've dragged my friends into Genshin myself. Okay, I'm guilty. I'm absolutely guilty of that. But after a while, they all quit, and I was just alone there, and I just don't know what to do, and I just suddenly felt more like a chore. And the moment some people wants me to play Genshin, it felt forced to play because it's like helping them with a daily commission or I don't know what. It's like a bothersome chore, like 15 minutes of like just opening Genshin and closing it again. I don't want that anymore. I really don't want that anymore. That's why I'm making this video on telling people should they quit or should they stay in a game they like or don't like. So, with that out of the way, let's first start with the first interview, of course, and that's gonna be to be myself. Um, as I told you about, I felt burned out of Genshin. It became more like a chore. So, what do I think about the state of playing the game? Well, to be honest, every time I play the game, if you like are enjoying it, to me, if you are playing more than like 30 minutes a day, is for me like pretty worth to play because it is entertaining and you probably won't run out of content. Or at least because Genshin is such a wide world, I love that game and it has so much things to do. But at some point it just became too much for me, so that's why I just don't want to do it anymore. So with the introduction out of the way, uh let me start with why I started with like downloading Honkai Star Rail. So Honkai Star Rail was one of the games I quit back then because I liked Genshin more. Yes, as a person or like objectively, Honkai Star Rail was way better than Genshin Impact. But I really loved Genshin back then, so it is a judgmental and personal feeling that I really wanted to stay there. But I want to give you guys a message from quitting a game is not really the end of it. Like if you are a meta slave or something like that, yes, it's probably going to be stressful to quit a game. But like a casual player like me, I would say if you quit a game, you can always come back. And that's what I want to show you guys with what I'm doing right now. I want to relive my Honkai Star Rail again. I played day one and went to like level 60 and quit immediately. Instantly. That's what I mean with you either can quit, you can absolutely quit, and but you can also come back. It's not a bad thing to quit a game. It's more like a reminder, do you want this or don't you want this? Are you missing the game or are you not missing the game? Because I'm gonna say I haven't missed Honkai Star Rail and I really want to try it again. I want to give it another go because maybe I'll get some motivation again to play this game. I'm not sure. And yeah, I don't even know who these characters are, but hopefully I'll enjoy my time. And I hope you guys will also enjoy your time in a game that you choose to play. And so, with me out of the way, let's begin with the first person I interviewed. So, the first person I want to talk about is a new streamer called Jellyfish. And she's a very nice streamer and she was very talkative to the chat. To be fair, she was just streaming for 2 days and I found her accidentally together with a raid. And I'm gonna mention the next person in that soon. Um, but Jellyfish is a variety streamer and she does plays a Honkai Star Rail, she played Owl and many other games that you might like to see. So if you really want to see some variety gaming and have a chat with a streamer, I would recommend going to her channel on Twitch, and I'll put a link down for every streamer I've interviewed down there. So hope you guys check them out, and I would really appreciate to show them some love. Alright, so back to the topic. Jellyfish was playing Honkai Star Rail, and I was talking about quitting some games that they might have played, or like they really loved back then. And the reason why I want to address Jellyfish first is because she has the same opinion as me. So let's listen to this.
I've been asking streamers why they quit games, any games, and why. Ooh, Genshin. I quit Genshin. Part of the reason is I felt like it was getting to a point where I couldn't physically keep up with the story. Yeah, go for it. Clip all you want. Yeah, Genshin was the game that I ended up quitting because it just felt like it was taking more and more time to do everything, and I couldn't physically keep up. Obviously, you get older and you got things to be doing, so.
First of all, she is also a college student, which is why she mentioned you get older and she has much more stuff to do. But essentially, what she was meant to say is she physically couldn't keep up anymore with the story. And to be fair, you can go two ways. Say she might get bored of the story because of a certain Paimon, like we all have the trauma of Paimon. Or you could say she is so busy that she just doesn't have any time to play the game. Well, you could argue that Genshin is a game made for those in China, and they really like to expand their game player base in China. So that's why they make Genshin like with usually very little content. Like from what I remember from 1.1, 1.0, 1.1, and 1.2 and 1.3, they didn't have that many big events or many quests to do because there was a gaming limit in China. And like I think MiHoYo is trying to compensate for that, so people could use that as an argument for you cannot physically not keep up with the game. But to be fair, I would say it's a burnout. You don't want to do it anymore, and that's what I got a takeaway from this clip I've took. And maybe you guys have some different opinions on this, so let me know if one of those clips have something you guys disagree with me or disagree with the streamer. And I want to rewind a little bit again because I think I missed something too.
I ended up quitting because it just felt like it was taking more and more time to do everything, and I couldn't physically keep up. Obviously, you get older and you got things to be.
Yeah, okay, so the two things are you got more and more things to do, and she couldn't physically keep up with the story. So it's more, it has become more time consuming, and it just became such a burnout game for her. That's what my takeaway is from this. Alright, so thank you to Jellyfish, and I hope that she will someday become a great streamer. Alright, so on to the next one. Okay, so the next streamer we have here is called, well, Short Moon, He has been streaming for a very long time, still a small streamer, recently became a VTuber on Honkai Star Rail, and he's so energetic, I would say. Very energetic person, and I love his attitude in his stream. So, if you want to have a chat with him, I would also recommend follow him if you want. He's a great person. He will answer you honestly and what he wants. He's a very honest person, and I thank him very much for answering my questions along the way. So, without further ado, let's watch this clip.
I absolutely love it. I really do. I love the world. I love the gameplay for it. I love the like combinations of teams and all that. But there's just so much grinding for levels
For more context, he's talking about Octopath.
that getting to like the final stuff is an absolute pain in the ass. And I don't think it's very fun. I don't think that's fun to grind for 30 hours or like not even 30 not 30 hours. Maybe 30 hours because it's a lot of grinding. Like genuinely it takes hours of your life away. And I don't think that's very fun. And I don't think you should do that in a video game. Just specifically grind for XP to level up to be able to use all your characters at the end of the story. I don't like that.
So, what Moon said was he doesn't like the grind anymore. And I honestly could agree, but let's play the devil's advocate here. So, some games' content are grinding. Some games want you to grind so you can improve, which is what makes the game more fun for you if you become better. The progress of becoming a god, I guess. Um, but for some people, grinding is not their stuff. And I have to say, if for comparison, maybe if you look at people who like to play more open world, or some people might to play more mission-like games. So I would say if you guys ever heard of solo leveling Arise lately, that's like a game that just tells you to go to a mission, clear the game, and that's it. That's like more the fighting objective game, and you don't have to, well, grind very hard for it, but you still do need to grind. But what I want to take away from this is like you have different kind of grinds. So some are based on you must clear this or you go through this again. And it's like the same stuff over and over again. I think that maybe the Octopath. I have never played the game, so I am not sure if that could be it. But if it is that case, then it could be that he's just tired doing the same stuff over and over again without like a relaxing gameplay. Um, for example, if we take Tower Fantasy, for example, it's an open world MMO, and people can have fun interacting in a open world, and they can explore. Like some people like to explore, but that's also a kind of grind. Because recently, this is for a future video I want to make, and I want to talk about Wuthering Waves. And I'm almost done with my Wuthering Waves because I'm doing 100% map exploration right now. And it is so grindy. It is absolutely grindy. And that's the second type of grind, like exploring. Like the first one is a mission based, so you will get your rewards anyways within this amount of time. While the exploration is more unknown because you need to explore every corner. Well, you could say, for example, take a YouTube video who has already explored 100% and they can help you throughout a guide. And I would say that's kind of cheating, so I'm just trying to find everything on my own. Um, and some chests might be stuck under a puzzle, so I'll just look up at the interactive map if there are any puzzles that I haven't done yet, if I'm like on 90% or 98%. But yeah, that's like two kinds of grinds. You either like one or you dislike one. But for him, it was just too much, and I would say honestly, if I grind that much in one game, I'll also be tired. I don't really want to come back to Genshin every time I say this, but sorry advance. I'm very bad with comparisons. But to me, Genshin is one of those games too because the artifact farming system. It's so much RNG. You need your resin. You need to wait. You need to grind again, and that's about it. And that's why I don't really like grinding anymore in Genshin because every time it's rinse, repeat, doing your stuff, rinse, repeat. Okay. Well, anyways, let's watch this further.
Too many hours just for grinding. Their level the leveling the XP grind in that game is absolutely ridiculous, and how to get more XP to grind faster is also stupid as hell. I absolutely love it.
Okay, so the last part he talked about XP. Okay, so this is like I think it's more per game instead of what you feel as a person. But in every game you have a leveling system, and some might differ from other, and some are might be even more expensive than others. I don't know about Octopath, but knowing the tricks of leveling your characters, usually it becomes more and more the higher your character wants to go. So depending on the game, how easy they will give you the materials, it depends all on that if you would like to play the game further or not. Um, let's see, what kind of leveling materials do we have? We have in Honka Star, we can just like go to a domain and get all the experience, but some might want you um, to complete a mission or something like that, or you must fight for the character to gain their XP. Uh, for example, if we take Epic 7, they got two ways of leveling your units. So one way is with their XP source, which are called penguins, which will give a amount of certain XP to a character or a unit. But most people probably won't do that because penguins are kind of expensive like every time. You don't have that much of penguins because most of the time you want to sell the high level ones for more gold. So that's when people go with a certain chapter. They will just grind that one chapter on repeat because killing enemies gives characters XP. That is a very grindy type of leveling characters. So he could maybe reference to that type of character leveling. I'm not sure how it works on Octopath again. I don't know much about it, but it's just getting more expensive and it will take just way too much time to level up a character to their max level, I think. So it either depends on how much you want to invest in a character. I would say if it's really a character you like and you want to spend like 2 hours grinding for it, absolutely fine. But if you need to like grind 3 hours or more just to get that character from like almost max to max, that's a little bit too much. Yes, I would agree with that. That's a little bit too much. But if it's like 3 hours or more for a character from level 0 to max, that's fine to me. That's absolutely fine to me. I think I can understand that one. So the takeaway is grinding preference in this game is either you like it and you want to spend time on it, or you would say, I don't want to max out a character just because it takes so much time and it is demanded you must have that character because some level contents um, have some demands on like character levels because maybe you need a certain level to beat that to beat one mission or not. But yeah, if it's like a demanded thing, getting your character to max to actually make a chance to win a fight, and you don't want to spend 3 hours grinding, then that's gonna be rough indeed. So again, shout out to Moon. Thank you very much for answering my questions. And again, links in the description. I won't mention it again after this. but be sure to check them all out. Alright, so the next one is Ray. Um, let's see, she is like a different type of gamer, I would say. Um, anyway, I'll just start this video and you guys will see what I mean.
I played Final Fantasy 14 and I couldn't play I don't know why, but I couldn't play games with myself. I always needed to play it with people. So I quit because my friend quit.
She, like I said, she's a different type of gamer. She plays with her friends, so it's a social type of gamer. Yes, I do have a little bit feeling about this because, to be fair, my friends when they quit Genshin, I also felt a bit lonely. But originally, Genshin was a single player PvE game, and I enjoy pretty much in single player, so that's not a problem for me. But for those type of people who are more like playing friendship games, who wants to explore the world, um, with their friends, yes, it is definitely something you could take into account. So if you really like the game and your friends don't, first of all, please do not force them to play the game. Absolutely do not. Because that's a huge red flag, I would say, if you do that. Because if you force them to play, they won't like the game more. They will have a negative feeling about that game and you forcing them. Because the problem with playing games with a friend and you like the game and they don't is because they will leave and you will be alone someday. So what I recommend for those people is try to explore more, try to find out your friends' preferences. Maybe you find some games that you will like for a very long time with your friends. And I would say I have found some games I want to play with friends sometimes. Like Escape the Backroom was very funny, though it's too much of a horror for me. Or Pico Park. You can have some fun with friends with other games. You don't need to specifically stick to one game to enjoy games with your friend. From this point, I would say if you are like Ray and you need friends, please be considerate of them and try to find a mutual relationship in a game. Which game are you both enjoying for a very long time? Alright, anyway, let's watch this further. She has more points to say.
So I no longer had someone to play with me. So I quit because I didn't have someone to play with me. That's probably a very consistent thing. Like if someone stopped playing, I stopped playing because I didn't want to play without them. Very rarely did I play a game by myself. I played
Okay, apparently I didn't clip it because it's too short for it, but she did mention that she started streaming because of wanting to talk to people about the game. So, well, if you are that kind of player, make sure to do that. Because if you are enjoying a game, and a single player game even, and you want to like share your experience with your friends or someone else, for those who have the courage, try streaming. Try to interact with the people you see in the stream because they will probably like the category you are in. For Ray, it's very important that people talk to her on stream, so she likes to make some more friends, I guess. Friends, quote unquote friends, chatters, and it keeps her happy. So that's one way of keeping yourself happy in a single player game if you are a person who likes to play multiplayer. But if you don't, there's absolutely no problem. Like if you have some games that are single player and you really enjoy and you want to talk about it with friends, then I would say go for it. If your friends like the game, do it. Why not? Because a single player game is usually played around yourself, so you don't really need teammates, but you can discuss some fun things with your friends. For example, in Honka Story, you can discuss about story-wise or character builds or what your most cursed relic is. You can share that all with your friends, and it's going to be fun. Just having a talk with your friends, connecting with them, it is absolutely fine. So if you want to quit a game because it's too single player, it's too much of a single player, and you don't have any connections, I would try recommending talk to people, and I think most people already do that. And if you really enjoy talking with people, then sure, go ahead. And if you still want to quit because you don't like the game anymore, or because being alone is too much for you, then I would say, yeah, quit the game, and maybe if you like it, come back later again. Like what I did with Honkai Star Rail. Just come back if you want to watch it, if you want to experience the game once again. Well, and thank you to Ray for answering my questions again. I really appreciate them answering my questions and taking things seriously. I wanted to ask more streamers, but five was my limit, and I was like watching all those streams. I got distracted watching their stream. Okay, I had fun interacting with them. I really had some fun. So if you guys are mindless scrolling through YouTube or something, and you have Twitch, I would say watch some streamers, chat with them. Well, thank you very much, Ray, and we'll move on to the next one. So the next person is Maddie Chu. Well, I was looking around random streamers and I found some Modern Wave players, and I was like, I could ask them some questions. Anyway, for Maddie, I think it was also Final Fantasy. I'm not sure about it, but we'll see once we listen to her.
Hours like twice a week. I was like, damn, I wish I was doing something else right now. Like when I had just picked up Genshin Impact, I like just started playing Genshin Impact around then, and at the time I was like, man, I wish I was playing Genshin instead. I think that's when I decided like, oh, I'm gonna quit. And then the same thing happened with Genshin later. Like during the chasm, I'd be like trying to complete the chasm, I'd be like, man, I wish I was playing like Valorant or something right now. I think that's usually when I quit a game, when it's like, I wish I could play something else. Hours like twice.
Alright, very nice. She talked about multiple games. So at first it was Final Fantasy when she quit, because it was too grindy, like 30 hours grind or something like that. I'm not sure what it was. It was probably a raid or something. But she quit Final Fantasy because she found another game she liked. So if you are like her, you found a game you like, and you're not sure if you want to drop the previous game or not, I would say try to figure out for yourself. Okay, so I actually have found a very nice YouTube video for this, so let me look it up real quick. Alright, so this video is going out about do you like the game or not. And specifically this is about a fighting game, but you can see it for other games too. You can like modify it even for yourself. Do you like the game from the way you see it, the way you play it? And well, I'll let this guy explain everything for now, and I'll come back later.
How can I tell if I like a fighting game if I'm really bad at it? Like, I'm kind of just mashing buttons right now. I'm so far away from how the game is meant to be played. Well, are you having fun mashing buttons? Do you enjoy, at a basic level, just how it feels to move around and press things? Because if you don't, then you're probably not gonna like the game even when you get more comfortable with it. But that being said, sometimes overcoming the weird initial feeling is kind of part of the game, like with Tekken and Melee. In those cases, I just watch a bunch of top level footage and see how that makes you feel. Does the stuff that you're watching look cool? Do you want to be able to do that someday? And most importantly, is that enough to push you through that initial execution barrier? There's no wrong answer, and I can't do it for you. You just need to be honest with yourself.
Okay, so what that guy talked about was very serious about do you like the game, do you like the button mashing, or do you don't like it? Because to like a game, you don't need to be a high skill level player. So there are some things I would disagree with him, but to an extent, I would say he's mostly right to say if you like the button mashing, if you like how the game visual looks, if you like button mashing in a combat and you don't feel bored, yes, continue play the game. But if you don't like it anymore, you can just quit the game. You need to be honest with yourself. Do you like your previous game more than a new game? If not, you can try to play both of them at the same time. If you don't have the time for that, then I would say try to rotate between the games. But if you are a very um well, like me, you want to log in every day, you don't want to miss anything, a very much meta slave, I would say you really need to be honest with yourself and see which game you like the most. Because someday both of those games will go out your window. I'm not gonna lie. Both of those games could go out a window any moment. But if you are invested to one game, you need to know, do you really like that game? If not, I would say quit. If you really do and you really aspire to be something with that game, well, not really aspire to be a pro gamer or something. You want to keep the game for a long time because you like the game. You can talk to your friends, for example. You can do very much cool stuff. Or you want to be a YouTuber because of that game. You want to show them your tricks. Then sure, stick with the game. And if you say you don't really want to, then quit the game. So that's my takeaway from what he said. And I would say very valid points. But I do not agree with watching some professionals play, because for some people, um, it is not 100% disagreement with him. Okay, but I would say some people enjoy to play the game blindly. Like I play Hollow Knight, and Hollow Knight was so much fun in the beginning because I didn't know anything. I absolutely know nothing. It was void, it was hollow. I didn't know anything before I jumped into the game. I only know, I forgot what the name was of those games I was about to say, but anyway, it's a very cool exploration game. You have to discover things on your own, or you don't, and you watch YouTube and you just go through it with a guide. Which one do you prefer more? I would say for me, I prefer going in blind because it's so much more enjoyable for me. Maybe some people like to watch the guide because they already beat some stuff and they just want to get on with it because they are stuck on the one thing and they are looking hours to get it. Yeah, that's why I would say I don't really fully agree with him saying you need to watch a pro gamer doing stuff so you can feel what you want from the game. Maybe, well, he was talking about fighting games. There we go. That was good again. He was talking about fighting games, so like League of Legends, I could absolutely understand, but for Hollow Knight, I would disagree with. So for certain games, yes. For certain games, no. Maddie talked about gaming two games, play. Well, sorry. Maddie talked about playing two games, and she wants to drop one because she liked the other one more. So if you are in a situation between two games and you don't have the time and you need to drop one, I would say choose which one you want to drop. Choose it. There's absolutely no problem to drop a game. You can always come back later and drop the other game. And you can also just say swap the games around once in a while. It's absolutely no problem to do that because games are made for enjoyment. And if you are not enjoying the game, then don't play the game. Alright, thank you very much for Maddie. Um, all those streamers are amazing, answering my questions without hesitation. So, the last streamer, it's Uni. And Uni is a also a variety gamer, and she's currently playing Wuwa. Way too much. But I'll let you listen to her right now.
50s, right? Like they haven't really prayed hard enough to Iron Jesus. So like, you know, you have your skill issues and you have Gamba skill issues and then you just quit. Like, I don't know. I've never been a quitter. I've never quit any game in my life. Today. I won't know what it feels like to quit. I don't know. I don't have skill issues. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no clue what you guys are talking about. Quitting? What's that? Never heard of that. Never heard of that. I haven't actually quit Genshin. So easy. Here's the thing. I'm playing Genshin tomorrow. Tomorrow 50.
Alright, so I couldn't clip the whole thing because it was way too long. But as you heard, she didn't quit Genshin. Like I said, it's absolutely fine. So if you have the time you want to play multiple games, go for it. But Uni is rotating between games at night because she has work at day. So it's absolutely fine if you want to rotate between games or do something that you really like. So again, thank you for Uni to answering my questions. And even though she was kind of half joking about skill issue and rage quitting, I do want to address that as a serious thing, okay? So, about rage quitting. Some people, like I would say, for example, I have rage quit many games like Mobile Legends and League of Legends. And to be honest, it's not a huge issue to quit a game because you are having a skill issue. I would say just because you cannot play the game as a professional player, it is fine to quit if you are not enjoying being beat up and bullied. It's absolutely fine. Like the previous YouTube video I showed you. So if you like the button mashing, the random button mashing, and do some random stuff for fun, and you don't mind getting beat up because you know you have low skill level, and you are still enjoying it, keep the game. Absolutely keep the game because you like it. So what I want to say is if you like the game, play the game. If you don't like the game, drop the game. Don't feel obligated to stay at the game. Don't let anyone pressure you to play the game. Don't force yourself to play the game. Because I forced myself to play Genshin and it went horribly wrong with my it went horribly wrong with my study and I just don't know what to focus anymore. And right now I want to focus more on my study and it's going great. It's going absolutely great. I will probably play Genshin again someday. Someday. I'm not sure when, but I'll be back. Like I said, if you quit a game, you can always come back at a game. There's no guarantee that you drop the game forever. But if you are going to drop the game forever, make sure, okay, make sure that you really hate the game. Like in a opinion of you don't like the gameplay style, you don't like the design, you don't like the storyline, you don't like everything from the game. Because some games, I would say, give them a second chance, unless it's a really bad game. And it is important to say this because if you really hate the game, is it personal or objective? Because if you are talking about objective, then you are outright saying, I don't like this game because it's bad and for some reason. And you show them, okay, why the game is bad. Okay. So if it's an objective thing and people agree with you, yes, it's a bad game, then it's really a bad game. But be careful, talk with everyone. Talk with the side who like the game. If they agree there are problems with the game, then you are right. And I would say there are people who like trash games, but they know it's a bad game. So those people are just wanting to play the game for their own, a personal feeling they like the game. And why I would say don't address every game too objective in the very beginning is because if you address a game objectively, like I would say, okay, so for example, I say Wuthering Wave is bad, they got bad graphics and everything else. Okay, so I am objectively stating that Whirring Wave is a bad game because they don't have good graphics or they don't have very nice design. That's very wrong to take it that way because Wuthering Waves, for more people, have very nice graphics, have very good design even. So what I'm saying, as an objective view, that the game is bad, is very much debunked. It's not going to work that way. Absolutely not. So you must say, personally, I dislike Wuthering Waves because they have, for me, unappealing graphics and design. This is a way of talking, right? Because every time you ask a person for a opinion of a game, they will mostly state their personal feelings and not objectively. Because a game is your own personal feeling if you like it or not, you want to play it or not. So the whole point of this video is telling you guys, play what you like, stop what you dislike, or stop what you are forcing yourself with. Because there are people who have problems who cannot just throw away a game because they are just too invested in it. They are too heavily in the game and they never thought, do I still like the game? Do I really still want to play it without quitting the game? And at first too, I thought I would never quit Genshin. Well, here are you now, 4 years later. But anyways, thank you for all those streamers who answered my questions, and I would like to give them all a shout out, so check them out in the link. If you really like the video and you want to tell a friend because you know they have a problem, convince them. Try to talk to them and ask them, do you still like the game? Do you still like the way you play it? Or are you right now unhappy with the meta because you must follow it, you are forced to play it, you are um, trying to get yourself into the game without liking the game. Thank you to everyone who watched this video, and thank you for listening to my rant. And for my next video, I'm going to talk about my point of view of Wuthering Waves from other games that I've played and how I experienced Wuthering Wave in its own as a game, how I enjoyed Wuthering Waves. And thank you so much for sticking around. I'll see you guys maybe in 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I'm not sure. Being a shit poster is not very time consuming, but I have trouble starting to press the record button. Let's just say that. Anyways, thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you guys somewhere around the internet again.